What is up, Notre Dame fans? This is Mike Singer from blueandgold.com, joined by Mason Plummer, my sidekick here at BGI. Guys, we are going to be talking all things Notre Dame National Signing Day 2.0 here in about 14 minutes or so. We will go live to Logan Diggs' decision, the Louisiana running back, three-star Notre Dame commit. Will he announce to Notre Dame? Will it be LSU? We will find that out live together. We never done something like this, so for those joining us live, we really appreciate and kind of hope it goes smoothly here. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up button on this video. Um, Subscribe to us if you are not. Man, I'm just checking my phone. We got our guy there. We're not even bringing you the Instagram feed. We have a reporter live there who will be bringing us exclusive feed. So Mason, something interesting that Brian Kelly said in his I wouldn't even call it a press conference. He just was talking and then handed off to Brian Polian. Brian Kelly basically said that they felt very confident that they were signing another guy today. And typically when Brian Kelly says these kind of things, he's right. and he doesn't just say these things to say them. So I would assume it's Logan Diggs unless, there's someone else out there that we currently don't know about. So just kind of thoughts on Logan Diggs, Mason?
Yeah, I was glad to hear Brian Kelly say that. No, I don't think there. I mean, there is a little bit of a cause for worry, I guess. LSU is always kind of scary. He's been back and forth for a while now. Did not officially sign, as far as we know. So it's going to be good to see him finally announce one way or another. Brian Kelly sounds very confident, like you said. Whether it goes with Diggs or if there's another potential target out there, he sounds like Notre Dame's adding a player one way or another. So I'm really curious to see what happens here. And we've got 13 minutes, Mike, until Diggs' announcement. So hopefully he doesn't dilly-dally too long, gets right to it. I know they like to have these long, drawn-out speeches and stuff like that. Let him have his moment, of course. But, yeah, I'm really excited to see what goes down here. And if Diggs does end up signing with Notre Dame and making it official, man, he's a stud and a lot better than the three-star ranking, I think. I think if he gets some more eyes on him, gets to some more camps, stuff like that, think he could get boosted a little bit. I don't necessarily think he's right away a game changer for Notre Dame, but I think down the line he's a really good get and a guy that could put up some real big numbers at Notre Dame.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff, Mason. Another kind of newsy item to come from today. Not even really newsy, but you had Jack Cohn, the Wisconsin transfer graduate quarterback, announced finally. I mean, Notre Dame tweeted out a picture yesterday of the early enrollees. Jack Cohn was among that group, and then Notre Dame tweeted out today that he was officially a part. No surprise there again. Looking at the quarterback room, and it was a topic in the press conferences today. Make sure you lock into blueandgold.com and our YouTube page, as well as our front page for all the coverage from these press conferences. But he was certainly a topic of discussion. Quarterback room, Mason, if it weren't for Jack Cohn, the Fighting Irish would be returning 0 starts at the position.
Yeah, so I think it's a win-win. I mean, even if he doesn't work out, even if he's not the starter that many are pegging him to be immediately, he's bringing in veteran leadership and experience. He's done a lot in college football. He's played in the Rose Bowl. He has the experience that only playing in college football will give you. He has all the playing experience that all of the guys in the quarterback room right now for Notre Dame don't have. So he's a veteran leader. He can show them the ropes, and I think it's likely he will be the starter on day one. Whether it sticks through the whole season, I'm not really sure. We'll have to see how it pans out. But I think he's a great stopgap. And then looking forward to the season after this upcoming one, that's when it gets really crazy with quarterbacks, I think, unless they elect to go with a grad transfer again. But I think it's Tyler Buckner 2022 there. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. I think the quarterbacks in Notre Dame's current quarterback, stable quarterback room. Have a lot to learn from him. He has a lot of experience. So I'm curious to see what their interactions are like with him and if they can learn from him down the stretch.
We really appreciate everyone joining us live here. Appreciate those watching back as well. Currently 4:21 Eastern Time. We should be going live to Logan Diggs' announcement. He is set to declare his decision at half past the hour. So we will bring that to you, barring any hiccups here. But as we are waiting, let's pop on and just look at Notre Dame's class right now. You have 26 December signees, of course, in addition to Jack Cohn, and then Logan Diggs would make it 27 high school signees if he does indeed choose Notre Dame. So just kind of looking at this, Mason, the receiver position, well stocked once again. 4-star prospects: Lorenzo Styles, Deion Colsey, Jaden Thomas. And then the 3 stars there, Kane Barong, Under Armour All-American, one of the best tight ends in the country, in my opinion, is stock kind of flattened out. But late in the cycle, for whatever reason. And then you have Mitchell Evans, 6'7", 240, might even be up to 250 from some things I've heard. So, I mean, the solid group of pass catchers. I think really in 2020 and 2021, these two classes, the wide receiver and tight end recruiting has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it's a step up, and I think it's what a lot of people want to see. I think in that Alabama game, a lot of people are pointing to the lack of receiver production as part of the reason for there was a clear gap and a clear divide between Alabama and Notre Dame as far as the quality on the field. And I think Notre Dame's taking a step towards that same direction. Lorenzo Styles is a game changer. I think Deion Colsey can be an impact receiver on the outside, but Styles is a guy you get the ball in his hands and just let him run. As far as Kane Barong at the tight end, I've learned to not question what Notre Dame does at the tight end position as far as recruiting. People like to look at the stars and maybe they pop on the tape just for a second, even though Barong's tape is phenomenal. They like to say, "Oh, it's a 3-star," but I mean, you can't question what they do. Tommy Tremble, I believe, was a 3-star, and look what he turned out to be. So I think that you should never question tight end recruiting, but trust the staff as well. They aren't going off of rivals rankings. They aren't going off anybody's rankings. They're trusting themselves. And in the press conferences today, their own how they what I want to say evaluate how they evaluate kids and the talent that they bring academically, athletically, whether they be a fit. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just looking at stars. I can assure you that. So really talented group. I'm excited to see how they progress at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think Brian Pulling and Mike Elston, recruiting coordinator, defensive line coaches at Notre Dame, respectively. I think they did a really good job outlining that. Look, star ranking, sure, it's a data point, but you can't just base off your evaluations off of star rankings. I mean, how bad at your job would you be if you just were recruiting and like, all right, let's just go look at Rivals or any other rankings website. I mean, you got to trust your eyes. We've seen Notre Dame turn down highly ranked prospects to go get someone who's not, because that's what they believe. So I also thought it was interesting when I want to say it was Polian. There's 5 little pressers, so it's hard to remember who said what, but I do believe it was Polian said, we would rather have top 5 finishes in the polls than top 5 recruiting finishes. And it was actually having a discussion about this on our blueandgold.com message board. And you can use promo code Irish60, little plug there, if you want to join and see what's going on. If you follow our YouTube page and you like what we're doing here, we do this. We have our daily coverage at blueandgold.com, having a discussion like, look, Oregon's had better recruiting classes than Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's been better on the field. So, all right, we just got a text from our reporter on site. Says there's a couple other players that will also be announcing their signing. Logan Diggs has arrived, but the event has not started yet. So hopefully that gets started around 4:30, and then we will bring you Logan Diggs' announcement again. This is the 3-star running back who we'll touch on his game in a little bit because he's an impressive prospect. So he committed to Notre Dame back in July, took his first campus visit to South Bend when the weekend that Notre Dame hosted Syracuse. That was December 5th. And then December 9th, 1 week before National Signing Day, Logan Diggs earned an offer from LSU, gave him some pause, and then it's been interesting to say the least here down the stretch. Let's pull back the offensive signees on the page. Running backs. Obviously, you have Logan Diggs committed. Whether he signs, we will find out here in a moment if he will announce towards the Fighting Irish or if he will, announce for LSU. But Audric Estime, Mason, we did a video here, and you can find this at our YouTube page at blueandgold.com. 3 biggest recruiting wins, 3 biggest recruiting misses for Notre Dame in the 2021 cycle. I put Estime, the 4-star running back from North Jersey. I put Estime as one of my biggest signings for Notre Dame's class because, look, the Diggs situation's been kind of funky. So getting him in, wow, that was an impressive, get, and flipping him from Michigan State, just offering him 2 days before National Signing Day. One of the hottest prospects at running back in the country. NewJersey.com Player of the Year. First team across the board in the state of New Jersey was, in my opinion, the best player in that state for what he did as a senior. So getting Audric Estime signed just kind of is like a sigh of relief, at least in my opinion, when you look at Notre Dame's running back room, because the Logan Diggs saga is kind of just been funky here. So to get a talented guy to join Chris Tyree, Kyron Williams, and Sebo Flemister was big.
Yeah, I think so too. And he brings something that those guys don't. Sebo Flemister runs tough. That's true. And so does Kyron Williams, I guess. But Audric Estime's a big dude already, and he bounces off tackles like it's nothing. He's running through guys. That's his style. Kyron Williams would rather run around you, kind of make you miss. But Audric Estime is not afraid to run through you, and that's what he prefers to do. And that's not to say that he's not fast either, because he is, and he'll break away. So I think you're right, Mike, that he's one of the best players in his state and one of the best running backs in the country. And I think that it complements him even more if Notre Dame was able to land Diggs. They're a great 1-2 punch, I think, and two very different kinds of running backs. So I think that's what Notre Dame's plan was as well after losing a couple guys. Jameer Smith just landed at Appalachian State just a couple days ago. Jafar Armstrong to Illinois. So you needed some guys in the running back room, add some bodies in there, and Notre Dame would love to take Diggs and Estime. We're going to see here in a couple minutes if it's going to happen. I think it's likely. I really hope that it does happen. The staff's been all over this for a long time now. Diggs recruitment, Mike, you and I talked about this off the air, was one that it's probably one of the weirder ones that I've covered. I've been doing this for a long time. You have longer than me, but kind of go into what's been so weird about this recruitment as far as Logan Diggs.
It's just been a little all over the place. It's been really since, and it's not like in a bad way. I mean, it's recruiting. This is just what happens. It's when we say this, it's not any kind of knock on the young man. It's just kind of been a drama filled recruitment. Even when he was committed to Notre Dame in the fall and didn't have the LSU offer, there was he was kind of someone else keeping an eye on as a potential decommitment because he had never visited Notre Dame's campus, and he was pretty clear to me that I'm not going to a school that I have never visited. So let's see, Logan Diggs is live on Instagram, but our reporter's not in yet because still no, he's I believe there's some other players that will be announcing or doing their signing before. So we will we'll bring you guys that live when the time comes for that. Moving along, quarterbacks: Mason, Tyler Buckner, Ron Paulus III. Let's touch on Buckner first. I mean, I feel like he was in that borderline 5-star talk after his junior season, and then didn't have the strongest Elite 11 showing, and then no senior season. So stock dropped a little bit, and then it had no way to go up because he wasn't playing at all. But still, Mason, we feel like Notre Dame got one of the best players in the country.
Yeah, no doubt. And they got him so early on. It feels like we've been talking about Buckner for so long now. One of the best quarterbacks in the country, no doubt about it. His high school career, and while it wasn't a long one, it kind of speaks for itself what he was able to do. He
Yeah.
can run, he can pass, he throws the ball.
Trying to hit us all now. All right, guys. We have sorry about that. So here's the Instagram live feed from Logan Diggs. Sorry if there's a little extra feedback coming in. Doing something new here for the first time. So there is Mr. Diggs on the Instagram live feed, but from our reporter, still kind of waiting and for him to come up live to start to announce his decision. So yeah, Mason, back on Tyler Buckner.
Yeah, just Buckner's definitely one of the most impressive quarterbacks in the country. And then the other quarterback that was brought in, Ron Paulus III, I've got to see him dozens of times. He actually attended the same high school that I did in Penn High School in Mishawaka, Indiana. I played alongside my brother, actually, so I was at those games a lot. And he is impressive. He has some things he needs to work on, most definitely. But there's some upside there, and Notre Dame felt like it needed to take another quarterback, so they did. He has the traits that you'd like to see. He's big. He's not mobile like Buckner by any means, but he can throw a good ball, and he needs time in the pocket. But Notre Dame can provide that. Notre Dame perennially has a great offensive line, so I don't see Paulus playing here in the near future. But in a pinch, I think he can do the job, and I don't think it's a bad pickup by any means.
I think we just need to give a quick round of applause to Mason Plummer for talking in here as I'm trying to do multiple things. All right, we are going to the announcement here. If the looks like,
we just want to thank you for your patience.
looks like the feed's not working yet. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Look, froze up a little bit.
So with that said, we have 4 boys who are going to participate today.
Little laggy, guys.
Earlier this afternoon, Kobe Fields signed with South Carolina.
We'll just wait a minute there. Let that get in there. Looks like let's see. There's Logan Diggs at the table. Let's see. Got a couple hats there on the screen. Notre Dame and LSU hats. See if I can zoom in there to show you guys the Notre Dame and LSU hats on the table for looks like we just lost it there. For Logan Diggs. Let's go back to the audio, see what we got here, guys. All right, let's go to the Instagram feed. Looks like that is struggling a little bit there. So we're going to go back to the Instagram feed and see if that's going to work a little bit better for us.
First, I would like to thank God for this opportunity to talk to y'all friends. Second, I want to thank my family, my friends, my coach, who pushed me to be happy I am today. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be right here to stand in front of y'all. Second. Third, I want to thank Archbishop Roman for letting me get into school, participate, find new brothers, find new family. That foresaid, from next 3-4 years, I'll be taking my talent to the next university.
You nervous?
Yeah, put the pen on the paper and look up.
I'm taking my mask off.
Can you take his mask off?
I'm taking my mask off.
No.
I ain't gotta see this face. I'm joking.
All right, Jay. Leave your pen.
No cap, when the NCAA come on, I'm putting myself in the game every time.
My name's Kyle Wickersham, quarterback here at Archbishop Rummel. And I didn't really have a speech prepared, but I want to thank my family and friends for helping me.
We'll go back in just a few moments here. Looks like still got a few minutes to wait until we have the decision there. So yeah, let's pull up. I think we went. Oh, we still got the offensive linemen. Appreciate you guys hanging on as we we'll wait for Logan Diggs to start talking about his the school that he will be choosing here. Offensive lineman Blake Fisher, 5-star. Pat Coogan, 3-star, but pick Notre Dame over Michigan, Texas A&M, LSU, Oklahoma, Ohio State. All these schools. Joe Alt, you guys know I'm the president of the Joe Alt fan club. Rocco Spindler, big time prospect, and Caleb Johnson, who Notre Dame flipped from Auburn. So, I mean, Mason's got to be one of the best, offensive line groups in the country. Alabama's is up there, Oregon's is up there, but Notre Dame, a pretty strong haul.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Getting Blake Fisher, the 5-star, keeping him in state was huge. He could have went, I'd imagine, anywhere he wanted to. Getting Rocco Spindler, winning that battle. He's from Michigan, so ripping him away from the Wolverines is huge. Like his high school helmet even had the Wolverines. It's the same helmet the Michigan wears. So it's crazy to see him come to Notre Dame. That's a kudos to Jeff Quinn and Brian Kelly, the whole staff, for getting that one over the line. I think Spindler's gonna be a monster at Notre Dame. Mike, I would like to be the vice president of the Joe Alt fan club, if that's cool with you. Pat Coogan, he's another talented guy, continuing that Chicago pipeline. That's going to hopefully prove some dividends here in the 2022 class. Some Illinois targets for Notre Dame: Sebastian Cheeks, Tyler Morris, Caleb Brown, some others. Looks like we're going back to the feed here.
I'm kind of nervous. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting me and my brothers today. It really means a lot to all of us, and we're grateful for y'all to be here. First, I want to thank God. Without him, none of this would be possible, and I'm blessed to be in the position that I'm in today. Next, I want to thank my family and friends and my teammates for always having my back, and for all the memories that we built at Bishop Rummel High School. Next, I want to thank the coaching staff. Y'all helped build me and mold me to the young man I am today, and I'm truly grateful for y'all. And I want to thank the Archbishop Rummel community and administrations for accepting me into this school and letting me come here to be able to change my life. Personally, I want to thank Coach J-Rock, because it's kind of like I'm in a similar situation when I was in picking high schools, and he stayed patient with me, and he saw potential in me, and that meant a lot to me, and I really want to thank him for sticking with me and getting me to come here, because if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it different. And lastly, I want to thank this beautiful lady right here to my right, my mom. Lord knows how much you sacrificed for me, and not all the money in the world can repay for what you've done for me. You raised me and took care of me and sacrificed everything for me. And I'm truly grateful for you. I love you with all my heart. And with that being said, for the next 3 or 4 years, I'll be attending the University of Notre Dame.
Logan, put the pen on the paper and look
Go
up.
Irish.
All right, thank you.
I'm shaking.
There we have it, guys. Thoughts, Mason? Pretty nice ceremony.
Yeah, it was. It was good to hear him have the chance to thank everybody. Kind of went through all of his coaches. I didn't really realize that he had a high school decision to make as well. So this is not something new to him. The decision ended up being kind of drawn out. Mike, we had a good feeling he was going to end up at Notre Dame, but crazier things have happened in recruiting in general, especially in this cycle, the 2021 cycle coming to a close for Notre Dame here. A big class, 2 running backs, Logan Diggs, Audric Estime, 2 different kinds of running backs, as we hit on before, 2 guys that complement each other well. LSU was really pushing for Logan Diggs down the stretch. It didn't get him. Big time pull for Notre Dame. I mentioned before, he's better than a 3-star running back. The people, just the stargazers, aren't going to like that, but I don't care. He's one of the best running backs in the nation, easily a top 10 for me. I think he'll have a good chance to play. Not necessarily this upcoming, what I want to say, not next year, but he'll have a good chance to play just with his skill set. It matches the Tommy Rees offense. I'm excited for his future. I'm kind of excited his recruitment is done too. It's been a lot.
Yeah, appreciate everyone watching live with us. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about more about Logan Diggs' decision while you're here. Hit that thumbs up button, like the video, make sure you're subscribed to our channel for more Notre Dame football recruiting content. Sorry about that, guys. Interview here you can find at blueandgold.com. Logan Diggs discussing his decision. Says it's the hardest decision of my life. LSU is home. It's been a dream school of mine forever, but Notre Dame built a relationship, and they want me to give them a chance. Coach Kelly started talking to me every day. They showed me they want me and tried to show me they want me. So there you have it. Logan Diggs again committed. Let's pop on the tape. You see a lot of guys, and they just kind of in their senior films, just long sweeping runs, just run away from everyone. Logan Diggs, I mean, he's got a hurdle here. You'll see him lead blocking. He wants to show you on his film that he is, an all-purpose guy, and not like a Darren Sproles all-purpose guy, like a little scat back. This is a big 6-foot, 190-pound back that is, very, very talented. Here's the lead blocking play I was touching on earlier. I think the thing that could have made him like a 5-star caliber type back, rather than, in my opinion, I think he's like a 4-star, is he doesn't have the best top-end speed in the world. If he did, I think he would have had offers from just about everybody. But, I mean, you see on some of these runs, he's certainly quick enough. He's got the acceleration, and he's just so physical. Bruising back, more than capable, catching the ball too. He's an impressive player.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think he could be a 3-down back if need be. It's not super common anymore, but I think he can do it. He's shown he's physical enough. He can break a long play too. He can pass block. He can receive out of the backfield. I mean, what more could you want, really? And he's shown interest in Notre Dame, and Notre Dame got it across the line, got him signed. So I'm curious to see how he progresses at Notre Dame.
Again, we want to touch on the depth chart for Notre Dame at the running back spot. We did earlier. With Diggs, you have Kyron Williams, Chris Tyree returning your 1 and 2 backs from last year, Sibo Flemister. I feel like a Logan Diggs or an Audric Estime could potentially become the 3rd running back. But you have a very deep running back core. So for you folks that have been sticking around for us half hour, I wanted to touch on something with Logan Diggs. He actually signed with Notre Dame in December. I think that's, if it's not public knowledge yet, it's about to be. from everyone. Listen, he was very close with Terry Joseph. So when the safeties coach for the Irish left for Texas, Logan kind of, second guessed it a little bit because they were so close. He had built a very strong connection with Terry Joseph, but some of this kind of late decision drama stuff I think was a little bit overblown because he was signed with Notre Dame back in December. Could he have said, hey, I really am wavering. I want to, get out of my LOI. He could have done that. Did he? No, he didn't. Conversations with Notre Dame were great. Since he signed, LSU was not able to recruit him. Again, because once a guy signs, you can't recruit him anymore. So a little interesting nugget there, guys, that, the late drama was real in that, he potentially was looking at, do I want to do this? He had a little bit of second thoughts, but at the end of the day, stuck with Notre Dame, signed in December, kept that quiet. And, again, he's announced Notre Dame's thrilled and a solid close here to the 2021 class.
Yeah, Mike, it was interesting that they had him taking pictures, signing still, but you and I knew that had happened in December. So for the photos, I guess, but I thought that was funny. It'll be a good picture regardless with the Notre Dame hat on.
Yeah, good stuff. Go to blueandgold.com for all of the coverage of Logan Diggs' commitment, signing profile, stats, bio, all that good stuff. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Really appreciate those who have stuck with us and watched this. This was the National Signing Day 2.0 show. I know we didn't get to go through the defensive signees, but again, that's going to wrap this up. Really appreciate you guys watching.